Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media as normal. Today we've popped down to Robert Rimmer's Phoenix camp to catch up with the Turkish Tyson, Billy Deniz. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. A little bit tired. It's been a long old weekend.
Same here, mate. There's been a lot of boxing on, hasn't there? I was up at like 5 o'clock in the morning watching Canelo. So it's been a long weekend too, watching all the boxing.
What did you think of that?
It's good. It's just a shame because I do think Triple G won at least one of them first 2 fights. So, but he's had a good run as champion. I don't think he wants to retire anytime soon, as he put on his Instagram and stuff. So yeah, it's good.
Too much money to be made, mate, isn't there?
Yeah, too much money, too many big fights.
Well, listen, let's start at the beginning because we've not interviewed you before. We've seen you an awful lot, but we've never interviewed you. So you pretty much grew up in a kickboxing environment. You became a world champion and 3 times British champion and so on and so on. Tell us a bit about that, mate.
So yeah, I kickboxed from the age of 6, started fighting when I was 12. I was unbeaten through my whole amateur career. I picked up 3 English, 3 British, 2 European titles, and then finally I got that world title. And then I'd done 7 pro kickboxing fights, unbeaten in all 7, and then I made the change to boxing.
Why did you do that?
Well, when I was kickboxing, I was going to Pat Barrett's every Wednesday or something, or Tuesday, Thursdays when the amateur classes were on, and Pat seen me, was like, "Oh my God, who's this kid?" So I was like, "I kickbox and blah blah blah." He's like, "Oh, you're good, you should sack that kickboxing off, come join boxing and stuff." When I told him how old I was and stuff, and then, but yeah, so then I started training with the pros when I sacked kickboxing off, and then that's how I got into it.
Well, if Pat Barrett tells you you've got to give up kickboxing and start boxing, you have to do it, don't you?
Well, do you know what? He was asking me for about a good year or something. I was like, no, I love my kickboxing, I'm not sacking it off. And then got to the point where I just thought, do you know what? Nothing really can do more with this kickboxing, so let's give the boxing a try.
So he went and started boxing with Pat in his gym, and obviously Pat, incredibly talented boxer himself in his day and a superb coach. We were with him at the weekend, and he's so passionate about what he does, and it sort of comes down into his boxers as well. Obviously Lyndon Arthur fighting and getting a win this weekend, and you got Zelfa Barrett who's a champion. What was that like, sort of training in that environment with some people like that at that time?
Well, do you know what? Because I was a kickboxer, it was new to me, stuff like that. Like they weren't really that many world champions about in gyms and stuff. So, because like the best kickboxers and the best Thai boxers are from like Thailand, Holland, stuff like that. So it was kind of weird being in that environment with Lyndon and Zelfa, because they've been on the TV and do you know what I mean? They're like kind of famous and stuff, and so it was kind of weird. But it was good.
Don't big them up like that. Come on.
Lyndon and Zelfa have already got big heads enough, but yeah, it was good. It was good, and it's good to get that experience. Like I've sparred with Lyndon a lot now, and I've sparred with him over the past few years, so it's been good.
Of course, now you've moved over to Robert Rimmer's Phoenix Club, or Phoenix Camp, I should say. You kill me for that one, won't you? Yeah. And it's a very high-intensity gym. Of course, you've got world champion Jack Massey over here, and a really good stable of lads. Tell us what the difference is and what it's like here now.
Just, I think styles, styles make fighters. So I think my style was just more adapted to Robert's training regime and stuff, and obviously Patsy's a bit further away from my house and stuff. It was just hard, to get there, get back and stuff like that. But yeah, I come here and I got on with the lads really well, and I got on with the style, and I got on with Rob, so it just must have been meant to be.
And we've been down and seen you guys training and sparring and so on, and it really is high intensity. And we've been around a lot of the gyms, and it's a happy place down here as well, isn't it? You're all mad. Yeah,
you know what? You got to have a laugh when you're training. There's no point in coming here being all serious and no banter and not having a laugh, because you know what? It helps you get through them hard days. But do you know what? When we're them type of lads, when we switch it on. As you see, like we train hard. But there's nothing wrong with a bit of a laugh before the session and after the session. We all take the mick out of each other, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's really good, and we enjoy coming down here as well, watching you guys. It's a breath of fresh air now and again. Although you have to be a bit careful, you're not going to get soaked with water or God knows what. Initiation test. Tell me what your initiation test was.
You know what? Yeah, Rob was stupid. He told me about the initiation test before I actually started properly coming to the gym. So when they tried doing it, I was like, nah, I know what that is. You're not doing it. But poor Riz got it proper, like the 3-man deadlifted him. So me, Jack, lay next to him, grabbed hold of him, made sure he couldn't stand up. And then Bobby come and put his ass right all over his face, like his bare ass and that. It was funny. It was poor Riz, but luckily I never had no initiation. I think my initiation test was taking a right hand off Jack. inspiring. So, but yeah.
Not quite sure whether his arse or his fist is going to be the worst one, but
yeah, true. Jack and whack. So, but yeah, I was lucky enough to have that initiation.
Now listen, you're managed by Kevin Murray, and we know very well, he's got dominating the middleweight section and got some fantastic boxers. He's really singing your praises at the moment and got high hopes for you. I mean, what's that like to have such an influence there behind you, helping you in your career?
Do you know what? I remember first joining there, meeting Kevin, because obviously he's Jack's manager and Charlie's and stuff. So I'm quite thankful that Kevin wanted me to be a part of his boxing journey as well as a manager. I remember when Rob put a video with me and Kevin messaged him saying, like, who's this kid? So yeah, I'm thankful because I know Kevin knows what he's doing. I know he's a great manager and I know he's gonna do what's best for me and take time and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very thankful for having Kevin on the team.
Yeah, well, he's talking very highly of you. And last time out, you boxed on his show over in Oldham. It was in July. And you had a kind of a Mike Tyson style destruction of your opponent. I don't think anyone in the crowd were expecting you to do that. I mean, you really went for it, didn't you? What a great display.
Do you know what? I wasn't expecting to do that either, but do you know what? I just seen an opportunity. I seen that he was covering. I heard him wincing from the first few shots I hit him with to the body and stuff. So far, he don't want to be here, this guy. So I'm just gonna get him out of there. But credit to him. He stood there for 2 rounds and took a hell of a lot of punishment. So hats off to him. But once I see blood, and I'm just going and I'm not stopping till you're there. Till you're out of that ring. So yeah.
Well, we filmed that like ringside. We were hanging through the ropes and getting out of the way very quickly when you were putting the punches in. And when we slowed it down and looked at it, my God, your shots into the body were so key to that destruction, weren't they?
Oh yeah, of course. Like I like my left hook, so I can throw it to the head or to the body. And I think the body's very underestimated, like it as a shot. Like it slows your opponent down, and once you get caught properly there, if you're not coming back from it properly, you're always going to be. If once you get caught again, you're down. I'd rather much take a punch to the face than a proper one to the body. So yeah, I think body shots are underestimated, and they're old school. I think, like you said, Tyson, people you got to pick to the body, and then that opens up upstairs, doesn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, and you were up on the ropes, very emotional, giving the crowd a bit of, come on, bit of encouragement. I mean, it kind of all came out there at that point, didn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. Do you know what, Matt? I've got a really good following, and I'm thankful for that. Like the lads are crazy. Everyone that come and watches me are crazy. They all scream. But yeah, that's my thing now. Every fight, I always jump on the ropes and go, come on, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's good.
And of course, next up, you are back over in Oldham. 1st of October, can we expect more of the same?
Definitely, I'm feeling good. It's my first 6 rounder, so I'm fitter. I feel a lot better. So yeah, that was the best I ever felt last fight. I had a really good camp, weight was good, felt strong, I had good sparring. It's been the same again, but we've stepped up that next level now because it's a 6 rounder. Yeah. Like my sprints and that and stuff, I'm feeling really good and feeling really fit. So yeah, you should expect to see fireworks as always.
And it's a good card, isn't it? You've got Ibrahim Nadeem, who's also stepping up. He's ready to sort of get a title under his belt towards the end of this year. And also Callum Simpson, who's going for an area title, but it's also an English title eliminator now. And we can see that mark on your nose. Tell me about Mr. Simpson. Was that Mr. Simpson?
Yeah, Mr. Simpson. When you watch this, caught me with an uppercut and just took the skin off my nose and stuff. But I'm kind of glad that Callum's getting this opportunity because he is mowing over these opponents, and it's like, I understand it's tricky. He's young, and he's they want to get experience. But when you're just mowing over people like that and you're doing that, you need to step him up, and I think he's ready for the step up.
Yeah, well, he's a good lad, and he's always happy to get an interview as well, isn't he? But we're looking forward to that fight because he's got a hard opponent, isn't he? He's a pretty seasoned, boxer. The Ben, I think it's Ben, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But that's what I think Callum needs. I think people just think, because he's fighting these journeymen and stuff, that's why he's knocking him over. But I feel like when you actually put a test in front of Callum, you're actually going to see the real Callum. And trust me, I've been in spars with him. I've seen him spar like. You've not seen the half of what Callum's capable of. Callum's like me. I think like if you put the harder the opponent you put in front of me, the more switched on, the more you're going to see the better version of yourself. So it should be a really good night of boxing.
And obviously, 6 rounder. Yeah, you get through that 6 rounder and you get a victory. What do you think Kevin's got planned for you, and what do you want to do?
Do you know what, mate? I'm young. I'm 21. Do you know what I mean? I'm a baby in this sport. So, and like I'm not boxed at amateur, so I'm just trusting in Kevin. And I think we're just going to take it fight by fight, maybe do a few more 6 rounders and just see what doors open. If if TV contracts come about, sit down, speak. We'll just see how it goes, fight by fight, and that's what I think me and Kevin, and I trust Kevin in to do. Take our time, and when I get to the top, I want to be able to stay there. I don't want to rush there and come crumbling back down. So we'll see, fight by fight.
Well, it all sounds positive, and from the last fight, we're looking forward to this one as well. I can just see it now, though, in that corner. First round, you smell blood, and you're going to go for it, and Robert will be going mad, saying, "Calm down, get the rounds in," won't he?
Well, I remember watching the fight back, and I can hear him because I was throwing so many different combinations, like 6 5-punch combinations, and Robert's like, "Right, get your breath back now, throw singles," and I'm like, I'm coming back to the corner. He's like, "Are you tired?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine." He's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, Robert, I'm fine. Honestly, I can keep going. I'm fine." So yeah, Robert just because of the inexperience, he knows I can get a bit giddy and stuff. He does go a bit mad, but
Never.
I wouldn't have performed the way I did if I would have calmed down, and I probably would. The rounds would have went longer. So yeah.
And obviously, fight week in Manchester this week. Big event over in the arena there. You got Joyce versus Parker. Also, of course, Mark Heffron's fighting again. I mean, tell me about the Joyce and Parker. What do you think's going to happen on that one? Because it's a very even boxing match, isn't it?
I think it's going to go 12 rounds, mate. I don't think there's going to be any knockouts. I think it's going to be one of them it's like a slugfest. But I don't think anyone's going to put Joyce on his ass because he's just got that juggernaut chin. But yeah, I think it's just going to be a bit of a slow fight for the full 12 rounds. There's going to be some bits here and there where it's a bit like but I think it's just going to be a slow, steady 12-round fight, and I think Joyce might beat him on points.
And of course, same night over in Nottingham, you've got Maxi Hughes and Kid Galahad going at it now. They're the main event. What do you think of that one? That's a good matchup, isn't it?
Is this Kid Galahad first return since he got knocked out?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of them, innit? Once you come back from a knockout like that, maybe it might have affected his confidence, but hopefully it might have overturned him and made him into that nasty or that more. Do you know what I mean? He's got that more spite in him now, so it's one of them. Anything could happen. In any fight, it's a puncher's chance. We're in boxing. Anyone can get knocked out anytime. Anything can change in that split second. So.
Yeah, and I think Maxi Hughes is going to give him a good test because he's champion. He's not going to want to lose his belt, and he's in his backyard as well. So. Yeah,
exactly. You can't let someone come to your backyard and give you a spanking. So that's he's got that little bit of grit in between his teeth. But then on the other hand, Kid Galahad's got that grit where he's just come from a bad knockout. He needs to prove a point, so he's got to come with his A game.
And a fight we're really looking forward to watching is Terry Harper. She's going back for a World Championship fight. We're keeping our fingers crossed for her, but we think she's going to win there. Steffi Ball's very confident that she's going to do the business. Let's hope she does well. Yeah,
of course. Women's boxing is really evolving recently, and it's good to see the people like Kate and stuff like that have really evolved the sport. I'm gutted that the women's title fight last weekend, what was supposed to take place, didn't take place because of obviously the Queen passing. But yeah, it's evolving so much, and it's really good to see. I've even come into other gyms myself. I'm seeing more girls training and stuff, and it's really good to see. It's good for the sport, innit? So yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, we go and watch young Chloe Watson over in Ricky Hatton's gym a little bit. She's at 4-0 now, and
she's a little aggressive style, isn't she, Chloe? I like Chloe's style. She's very aggressive, very forward. She's good, Chloe. I like watching her.
Yeah, she's got some big fight news coming this week, so keeping her fingers crossed for her that she's going to get out very, very soon. Listen, we're not going to take too much more of your time up because we've dragged you in early. We always finish with a little bit of either or, so there's some funny ones in there, but there's we'll do some. Right, so Joyce and Parker.
Joyce.
Okay. Fury or Joshua if it happens?
Fury all day, but I don't think it's as easy of a fight as everyone thinks.
No, I agree with you there, actually. Nice one. Jake Paul or Tommy Fury?
Oh.
Now, do you know every boxer, when I do this, goes exactly the same? They go, ah.
Do you know what? It's very hard. I've sparred Tommy. Tommy's a very good boxer, but he's like me. He's unexperienced. He's not boxed a lot amateur. And Jake, I think everyone don't realise how big Jake Paul is. He's not a small person. He's a big, thick set lad, and he can punch. So, like I said, and it's at a weight where like heavy cruiserweight where everyone does have that puncher's chance.
You're sitting on the fence. Come on.
I am going to stick with the boxers and say Tommy.
Ooh, okay.
I've got you.
Okay. Maxi Hughes or Kid Galahad?
Maxi Hughes.
Okay. This is the big one, of course. Eubank versus Ben.
Do you know what? I think Ben. I really do think Ben. I love Ben's style. Eubank's an animal, don't get me wrong, but can he be an animal with that £20 off him? Like, you've already heard his dad's concerns about his weight and stuff, and he can post all he wants, like he's not concerned and he's feeling fine, but no one sees what's behind them closed doors. No one sees what's behind them social media posts. But I don't know. It's like Ben can bang, but so can Eubank. It's one of them, innit? But I'm gonna say Ben.
Okay. And of course, Ricky Hatton has got his exhibition coming up again. There's going to be a new date announced very, very shortly, and he's fighting Barrera. So who's going to win that one?
Ricky Hatton is a Manchester lad. Come on, we don't lose. Us Manx don't lose.
So glad you said that, because I'd have been in so much trouble if you'd have said Barrera. And finally, and this one's a good one, Jack Massey, Richard Riakporhe.
Jack Massey won the first time. He's going to win the second time. That's all I'm going to say, if it happens.
Well, let's hope it does, because Jack needs to get out and have another fight, doesn't he? He's sitting there just chomping at the bit, and he's not had a little fight for a little while. So,
yeah, definitely. I think, like, obviously, I didn't know Jack at the time when that fight happened, and I remember coming to the gym and I heard him speaking about the fight and stuff. So I went on YouTube and watched it, and it's like he got robbed, and it's sad because them fights take away them other big fights, and that's where your career goes to that next level. So I think for him to fight Riakporhe is a career must to avenge that loss and to prove a point, and then he can really start getting the fights and the money and the opportunities that he should have had a longer time ago.
Yeah, and I hope that fight does happen, because they're both really nice lads, but both incredibly good boxers, and I feel like Jack gets avoided an awful lot, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, of course. Like, I've sparred Jack, and Jack's probably the hardest ever person that's ever hit me, and I used to fight at heavyweight when I was a kickboxer, and I've been kicked in the head off big like 19 stone, 18 stone blokes, like, but Jack hits hard, like, and I've heard stories that everyone who sparred him says it. So I think he is dodged a lot because of that reason. He's dangerous, and it's one of them, like, if you get beat, then you've lost. You've got to come back from that loss again, haven't you? But yeah, he's very avoided, and I understand why.
Yeah. Well, listen, out on the 1st of October, tickets still available. Where can people get hold of them?
You can message me on Instagram or Facebook. Tickets are £40 for standard seating or £60 for ringside. It's a brilliant night of boxing, as we've just discussed. There's lots of good fights on, and so yeah, don't miss an exciting night of boxing.
Yeah, and it's going to sell out very quickly. There's going to be no tickets fight week, so you need to get them now, don't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. You got Callum coming from Barnsley, so he's bringing up half of Barnsley probably. I've got quite a couple hundred coming already, so yeah, it's going to be a big night of boxing. It's going to be Jake. You've also got Jumbo Jake. He sells a lot. He's a big ticket seller, so yeah, grab your tickets now while you can.
I know Ibrahim's got a couple of hundred coming over from Keighley as well, so it's going to be a packed house, and I'm sure you're looking forward to performing on the night. Billy, thanks very much for your time this morning, and good luck in your fight, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.